sports. You rockin' with Valencia King. Nah, she do. Real talk, real sports, and got them real in the views. Real talk sports. Turn up, real.
What is up, everyone? Yours truly, Valencia King, here with Real Talk Sports. Alongside me is none other than Mrs. SWK.
That would be she would be I, and I am her. Hey, yo.
Yes, indeed. So we are here with Real Talk Sports to, of course, talk about this Dallas Mavericks game against a high-seeding team, the Denver Nuggets.
Yes.
So this was a game that definitely the Dallas Mavericks were wanting to win to not only keep their positioning in the playoffs right now, but move up in hopes of actually moving up. But we got some news during the third quarter of the game that the NBA season is currently suspended until further notice due to the coronavirus and outbreak. If you guys haven't heard, Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz actually tested positive for the coronavirus, and their game, the Utah Jazz, was going to be playing Oklahoma City today, actually.
Tonight, same
whenever
time.
you're viewing this, the same day as the Dallas Mavericks are playing the Denver Nuggets. So they canceled that game. They postponed it at the time, but during the third quarter of this game between the Mavs and the Denver Nuggets, we found out that the NBA has decided to suspend the season at the moment.
At the moment, correct.
So when we look at that for our Dallas Mavericks, we're going to jump into the game real quick.
Yes.
So third quarter, the Denver Nuggets outscored the Mavs 35-27. It was still pretty much a close game going into the fourth quarter. Ultimately, even though the Dallas Mavericks, along with the Denver Nuggets, got this news in the third quarter, Mavs were able to come out on top, holding the Denver Nuggets to just 12 points in the fourth quarter.
Right.
And I think that has a lot to say with how the Mavericks were able to, not really let the outside noise affect their game. You'll hear from head coach Rick Carlisle. In short,
Rick Carlisle's going to be pretty short and to the point. And I think for most part, the players didn't know what the NBA was doing while they were on the court. This is not one of those situations where they knew going into the game. So the Mavericks actually were playing the game as if it counts, because it did count. No matter what the outcome, the game did count. And the Mavericks were playing this game like a playoff game, which I appreciate. And I think it could be a part of, because of what's going on outside of the basketball court. Not that they knew what was going on, but like Coach Carlisle said and some of the players said, this arena was packed.
Absolutely, for an early tip-off game on a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday.
Maybe spring break had something to do with it, but
True,
the hashtag MFFLs definitely came out. So we will come back to our conversation. Right now, we're going to jump into head coach Rick Carlisle. You'll hear from him. I asked him just about what his message was to his players at this current moment. It is obviously still early on. Right now, while we're filming this, we're still within the hour, basically, of the NBA suspending the season. So we'll hear from Coach Carlisle. Then we will go ahead and jump into veteran on the team, Barea, who talked about how he was able to, lock in still during the game, even though they found out this news, and what his message is to the young players as they continue to move forward.
Things that I've learned through the commissioner's office. I spoke to Kathy Barnes a few minutes ago, and basically we've been informed that the season for right now games have been suspended. This is because of just the league being concerned about the health of fans, players, and arena personnel. There's going to be more meetings and more talk tomorrow about what the next steps are. There's no timetable, and that's what we know for right now. As far as the game, this is one of the best regular season wins I've ever been a part of. You're talking about, mid-March, down a bunch of guys step up that really haven't been playing very much. Marjanovic was spectacular. Barea was great. Willie Cauley-Stein, missed a couple days because he wasn't feeling well. He's back in there. He contributed in a big way. Doncic was phenomenal. Hardaway, and the bench was into it the whole night. So real proud of our guys. After last night, which was really disappointing in San Antonio, we, stayed together, came out, and the guys fought their butts off and earned a very important win.
Rick, it's obviously still early on in this unique situation, but stepping out onto the court is like a sanctuary for you and your players. What are you kind of telling them now that the season is kind of suspended for the moment?
Well, it really hasn't been much time to get into a lot of stuff. But, we've laid down the basics as we know them. Everyone is to stay in town. That's one thing we told our guys. And, games are suspended. Team activities are not. And so, but we're off tomorrow. I absolutely believe we'll have more information tomorrow, and we may be able to share some of it Friday, or perhaps there may be more announcements, perhaps not sure.
Well, obviously very concerned, but it's not necessarily about basketball. Obviously, this is much bigger than basketball. I'm concerned about, will my kids have school or not? I'm concerned, are we all doing the right thing? Because this is obviously new territory. This is certainly a black swan event in my experiences, and so, basketball actually becomes secondary. But in terms of basketball, as I said earlier, nobody at the Dallas Mavericks is an expert on infectious diseases or their spread, and so this is not a situation where you fake it till you make it or try to sound or act important. The NBA has hired people with expertise in those areas, and they're working with people from the government and other other people with expertise, and so we have to defer to them, and that's exactly what we'll do. And if the NBA, effectively, if one player, two players, whatever it is, already have it, we'll have to act accordingly, and I think the NBA made the right decision. In terms of what we told the players, we told them to be very vigilant, that this is not a situation where the season's ended, go do what you're going to do. We expect you to stay in Dallas, and the NBA told us that we'll continue to practice and do rehab and continue to do work. And I was very specific, as was Coach, to say who you talk to is very important. If bringing people in from out of town because you have downtime, no, that's not going to work. That you have to be accountable to the people you're dealing with and who for your own personal safety and obviously for everybody else's. So this is not a vacation. This is effectively self-quarantining everybody, because it's our responsibility to be vigilant, and the players are in a unique position because wherever they are, people want to come up to them. And we had told them when we thought we were going on the road to only eat in the hotel, not to go out to eat, and only use room service. And we kind of reiterated that same thing after the game, that you have to be very, very vigilant and very careful, because you are at risk. And if you have family here, whether it's your children or your grandmother, you don't want to put them at risk. So be very, very careful and vigilant.
It was new. But I think it's a great decision by the NBA. I think they know what they're doing. I think it's better to be careful. Do it now rather than do it later. So, it's tough. It's different. For the young guys, it's a new thing. I've been in lockouts. It's kind of the same. Hopefully this turns out positive, for everybody. So, see what happens. Found out in the third quarter. So, not much, just postpone, and then I stayed, I was going to get in the fourth, I had to stay a little bit ready for the game. Now you start thinking about what you're going to do.
Okay, and now we're going to go into the away team press conference, and we're going to speak with Paul Millsap of the Denver Nuggets. And I appreciate Paul took it there. He actually talked to people about what this time means, what it means to go through something like this. And in summary, you're going to hear him say the word prayer. This is a time to be grateful for who you have and what you have. Be close to your family, pray, and let's all stay in this together.
Unfortunately, there's, obviously, I think it's a smart move, for the NBA to do this. Safety of the players and safety of the fans is important. So I think it's the best thing for us to do right now, and we're just waiting to see what happens. It's a tough time. It's a tough time. Anytime you hear some news like that, it'll bother you a little bit. So it's just a time to really just be with your family, pray, and just hope for the best.
So this is Real Talk Sports, so we are going to take a moment and absolutely keep it real. SWK, as a former semi-pro basketball player, how are you feeling? Because you played overseas.
Yes.
And, this virus currently is affecting people across the country, across the globe. So, if you were in this position, how would you be feeling as a former player?
I'm going to come to you at a couple of different angles. As a former player and a person who works in human resources and safety, I'm going to tell you right now, businesses are trying to make the best decision possible. As you heard Rick Carlisle say, we are trying to protect the players, we are trying to protect the fans, we are trying to protect the staff. So they have to make decisions that we haven't had to do in our lifetime, because I'm fairly young. So right now we're just having to kind of roll with it until people sit down at a table and decide what needs to be done. But I do believe it is a very good step in the right direction, because you don't know who's been exposed to what. not only in the locker room, but outside of the locker room. We don't know what they do in their spare time. We don't know where they're going to, to eat, to talk to, or who they're associating with. So we want, the players to be protected, but we also want to protect ourselves too.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I appreciate the NBA taking a stance and making a decision. And they will correct the decision if they feel like it wasn't the best one. But for now, a decision has been made to put a freeze on you, if you will, on the games until further decisions is made. And I think people just take a deep breath and understand that this is for the best for the whole, not just the one.
I would be inclined to agree, and just from a media standpoint, my only concern is, of course, as we get more information, as the NBA has more information made available, the media and even fans will, be notified for it. As a media personnel, I'll do my best to get you what I can. They do have the toll-free conference line, so if we got to get Luca on 1-800 Real Talk Sports, we will try our best to do that for you guys. So please do stay with us. We still have some content coming your way here from Real Talk Sports that you haven't seen. If you haven't seen our TikToks and our trailers, make sure you guys do that. We'll have to keep those going because we can do those anywhere.
We can do those anywhere. And while we're doing those, I want you guys to do something called wash your hands.
Yes. Wash your hands, cover your mouth when you sneeze and or cough. If you feel sick, go to the doctor. Don't go nowhere else but the doctor. And stay home if needed. Follow instructions. You also, and earlier you heard from Mark Cuban as well. He's saying this isn't a vacation for the players. It's not a vacation for you all either.
Anyone.
Okay?
We have to take this serious, and everybody needs to do their part. We are all kind of concerned and upset and laughing about some of the things going on, but the fact of the matter is we are all in this together, and we all have to do our part, and our part start with ourselves, with taking care of yourself and those that you are around and doing things the right way. Wash your hands, people. Wash your hands.
Listen, that came from Mrs. SWK, but it also came from the mother in her, okay? From the daughter in me. Wash your hands, wash your tail, wash what you say.
You can sing the happy birthday song.
Listen, it's okay to have a little bit of fun in this serious moment, but in all seriousness, you guys, make sure you're taking your health serious. Make sure you guys are taking care of yourself. And we will be back with more Real Talk Sports content as soon as we can. Like we said earlier, we still have some more stuff coming your way and some other content, some new things in the works. So make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is Valencia King TV. And follow Mrs. SWK on the gram. Stills by Frankie got some of the final shots currently of the NBA season.
Right. Exclusively with.
Shout out to Zex at the Dexy Podcast and my girl Bro as well. And this is not goodbye. This is ta-ta for now, okay?
This is just a temporary suspension of Real Talk Sports. We will be back soon.
Sports, you rockin' with Valencia King, Nash do. Real talk, real sports, and got them real interviews. Real talk sports. Turn up, real talk sports.